Hey everyone, so this is me, M.I., or Miguel, or whatever. And I wanted to talk about, I'm a little sick, so pardon my voice today, but I wanted to talk about the posts on FTMtranstastic and discussion that has been there, because I believe I have a bit of the 2 points, although I tend to be in one, and I believe that my thoughts on stuff can actually change the discussion or bring new arguments or make people see things in new perspectives. So everything that I'm going to speak now, from now, I will be, well, first of all, I will be speaking while I roll up a cigarette. Yeah. Just because I'm cool, no, because I smoke, and I haven't smoked today. This is the part where I wanted to make it a bit funny. I'm usually an entertainer because I'm super socially awkward. But anyway, everything that I'm going to speak now is probably from my experience as a transgender and LGBT and queer activist in Portugal. Yeah, and I have been for the last 3 to 4 years, and it has made a lot of experience because I have been for a long time one of the few trans people with a queer experience that I have known about. Now, not really, but I was able to join a group and make a sort of movement and start continue some things up, and we're trying to make now a community, a trans community, because we haven't really had that, or just been partially dead. So what I wanted to talk about is some of the discussions you're having in FTMtranstastic, and talking about people with the experience of Auguste and Emery versus people with the experience of Fionn and Emery, is some of the discussions I have been having with a lot of trans activists in the Spanish state, here in Portugal, and in France also, with France influence. So we have been discussing a bit of it, and I wanted to give you my thoughts, because I believe this is so much more than what we're giving it attention for. I believe this discussion is crucial to guide what is the trans movement or the trans community going to be like. What are we building here? Because this community is what will, like the LGBT community and this in the gay community, and with even the Stonewall riots, is just absolutely visible. So my question is, what are we building? I think we also need to, I need a space that is diverse, that fights against the same problems, and that secures us from one another. If I'm bad one day and I want to, I don't know, shoot myself, I can talk to someone. I'm sorry, by the way, my trigger warning downstairs. God, this was horrible history. But if I'm bad someday, let's say I'm dysphoric, then my trans friend can help me because he's from the community and he knows how I feel. And when he's bad, I'll help him, and we'll move along. And that's a community, and that's what we need to build from one point. From the other, we need, I think it's pretty obvious that there are a few discriminations, aggressions, and oppressions that are made against trans people. That is called transphobia, and that has come with a lot of oppressions associated, and we need to fight against it. That also, because if we don't fight against it, then our minority in our community group will just decrease and decrease. We need to build us strong so we can fight, but we can also live and survive. That's my vision of things. I'll just stop the video for a bit so I can roll a bit. So yeah, so I see this discussion, entering in the discussion specifically. I talk about sex and how trans people can be dysphoric by being called their vagina, and while being on their parts called one word or others. So I'll give this also in my experience of my body questioning. I believe that I have a dick, even though I have not been operated, and I am female assigned at birth. I don't have even a dicklet. I have a dick that works in its own way, and it's nice. And I don't have a vagina. I have a manhole. And I think one of the wonderful things that trans people and trans experience makes us question the world, and also trans people, is to rename our bodies. To say, no, you know what? I give this body of my part. I give this part of my body this name and this function and this meaning and this symbolic thing that has personal or not as personal as sex. Yes, I have this body, but I don't have boobs. For me, I don't. I don't call them that, and they don't serve as that. And this power of our renaming our bodies is also important. Although there are people, there are trans people, that are as trans people as us, they're as worthy of being in the trans community as us, that feel like I have a vagina and they call it that. And it's their bodies, their fucking choice. We have nothing to do with that. And you know what? There are a lot of trans people who call it vagina and are okay with that, and I think that's wonderful. But I don't only think that's wonderful. That's not only it. I think it's wonderful, and I want us to one day feel proud enough to say that. Feel not proud enough. Feel that the oppression that is upon us has been so reduced that we can say that without feeling less of man, less of our gender being self-determined. I want someday to the community to go there, but I think it's important to, and that Fionn and Emery have a point, that a lot of trans people and a lot of trans guys don't feel that okay about your body, about their body, to call it vagina, or to call it even dicklet or clit or manhole even, or even to use it. And that's their bodies, their choice, and they don't feel okay, then it's then I think what then Emery and Auguste should do, and that's the important, well, I'm not them, but what is important is talking to other people in a diverse way. Like some people, some trans guys think they're or feel they have dicks, or or clits or dicklets or manholes or I have heard a lot, or vaginas, anyway, whatever. Like I say, this body part means this. You can do this with this body part because it's physically possible, or you can do whatever. I don't know. I penetrate my girlfriend and it's awesome. You can do whatever with your body part that you choose, and I believe that we need to rethink our bodies in that way too. I think we need to rethink our body functions. To say, I can penetrate with a clit or a dick clit, and that's fine. But it's how I talk about my body. So what Emery, if I was Emery and Auguste, and I love their videos, and I think they're so adorable, and I identify a lot with what they say. But I just think you need to, when you talk to others, you need to work. When you talk about other people's body, the trans guys' body parts, you need to realize that there's a lot of diverse ways, and that's what's going to ultimately bring our community together, is that we have different ways of sorting out our different bodies and our oppressions upon our bodies and upon our experience and upon ourselves naming our own bodies. We really urgently need to bring our community together and not make us separate.